Where are we at?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Merry Christmas.
Yo, what up? Merry
Too early
Christmas.
for that.
It's not too early for that. It's like tomorrow's Christmas Eve. So tomorrow we're not gonna be able to greet people tomorrow. Most likely we're not gonna be doing a show. We're doing a show tomorrow. Tomorrow is Christmas Eve. No, tomorrow's Friday. Yeah, we're not doing a show tomorrow. So Christmas Day we could do a show if we're not too
Right.
busy. But it is a continuation of our the Christmas episode that wasn't right.
Yeah. It got cut because I don't think you had a good signal that day. I think, yeah,
No,
everybody
yeah.
had like a
You heard,
terrible signal that day. So yeah, so we cut it off. We decided to cut it off because you were, you were having these pauses, and it's crazy.
yeah, for
So hopefully
like 10
now our
seconds and
signal's
stuff.
good. I think mine is good. Hopefully the signal there is better now.
Yeah, you sound good, man. You sound great. All right. So we didn't really we did get to start a little bit, but that doesn't count. So we ended it as soon as we started it. So guys, if you guys are wondering what we're talking about, we are talking about the then and now of Christmas, celebrating Christmas. I guess specifically here in the Philippines. You could apply it also if you are elsewhere. You know, if you've lived there for a long time and you see the differences. It's not necessarily before COVID and post COVID. It's or like during COVID. It's most likely like just before internet and then after internet, or just like how people are. Because we've been around since. Ice, I gotta ask you first though. Like, what decade for you was Christmas most memorable? Like the magic was there. You were born '70s, right? So I would say maybe late '80s, early '90s.
Right. I was born in 78. So, I mean, I didn't know anything about the 70s. Dude, by the
Same
time
here, man. Come
80s
on.
hit,
But here,
I'm like two. I was like two in 1980. So I didn't
yeah,
really
when you
recall anything from
When you were
1978 to
born, I was
80.
like what? I was like 5 years old, 4 years old. That doesn't count, right? Or like,
Yeah,
what's a 4 or 5 year
probably not.
difference?
I don't know, like
Four or
mid
5 years.
80s. I remember those times. It was pretty noisy. There's no difference between Christmas and New Year because there's just like all firecrackers. Like before midnight, it would be like chaos. It's like the apocalypse. Everybody's
Yeah, yeah.
lights are off because people are shooting up quitis in the sky, and the kids are like
Nah, I have not heard that in
like
a long
shooting
time.
up baby
It's,
rockets. Why do we
it's like
say
a
baby
new.
rocket? Like baby. So if you say it in English, it's baby rocket, baby rockets.
We don't say
But it
baby
sounds
rocket.
it
We say
sounds
baby
off,
rocket.
right? So we say baby rocket, right? Baby rocket. But if you say it like, well, yeah, I mean that's an English word, and if you say it properly, that's baby rocket. So baby
Okay, so
rockets.
hold on. Let me get this clear. All right, so I mean, this should be like a New Year discussion, but you're right. New Year starts. Well, not New Year, but the firecrackers start happening like during the Burr months. It's a prelude to Christmas, and like even Christmas Eve, you hear firecrackers go crazy. So people just have money to burn when it comes to
Well, even before
firecrackers, and
Christmas Eve, dude,
even
kids are
before
just,
Christmas Eve. Yeah,
right?
you
I
hear it
mean,
from afar
I don't
already.
know
You can hear it from afar
exactly.
already.
There's like those cannons and those
Yeah,
bawang, those triangles, and you can just buy them anywhere. You can buy them on the streets and stuff, right? There was no control.
there's no control.
Like
There's no
if you have
control.
money, even if you're like a kid, you can buy it from those people along NCCC. It doesn't matter.
That's
But
right.
now I think
You can you, you
it's
can you can buy it
regulated.
outside
So
Victoria Plaza. They used to sell that outside Victoria
yes,
Plaza. Remember,
yes,
remember Victoria
right.
Plaza always used to always have this like the parole competition. Like there, so
Right.
the whole
Right.
mall outside was like lined with like these
Hmm.
fancy looking paroles, and I think they were giving
Yes.
away like 20,000 pesos for grand prize. So people were really, they were really taking that seriously. But anyways, all right. So going back to firecrackers, and before we acknowledge the people who are on board, well, Jepoy and Stark Siap, and of course, Carlisle on board. Again, Carlisle, thank you for the cookies. I don't know if he heard me when I gave him a shout out the other day, but thank you for the cookies again. It's wife approved. All right. So, anyways, you were talking about firecrackers, right? You mentioned Baby Rocket and all that. So let's clarify the order of I guess dominance in terms of the firecracker food chain. Like there's Super Lolo, right? And then there's Lolo Thunder, and then there's what does it start? Triangle? Is that what the smallest is? The
Triangle.
triangle? The
Yeah, I
triangle.
think
And then
so.
what's after that? OG? What's after the OG, right? There's the OG,
I think
right?
so. Triangles are for
Triangle then
pussies.
OG.
So right.
Yeah, the
And I was a
triangles is
pussy. Yeah, I was a pussy. Yeah, all right. So like I play with triangles.
I think the most common was OG. I'm not sure if it's OG or there's one
Dude,
before the
Lolo
OG.
Thunder, you can lose a finger for crying out loud.
Dude, you can lose
Triangles,
a finger
you
with the
can have
OG.
see triangles. You'll have like what, like a second degree burn at most. I think that's fine. Then losing your
Dude,
finger,
you know Chester, right? Chester Palmahil. You know him, right?
right? Yeah.
You know Chester, right? So
Did
we
he
were
lose
at
a
my
finger?
house. He almost did. We almost lost our hearing.
Holy
He was at my house, and because it was my birthday, it was his birthday, New Year's Eve, right? So they were drinking at my house, and you know what I do is like I have people over at my house, and they're all drinking and stuff in the terrace because we have a big terrace in the house. So they take over the whole house, and I just go to my room and leave them alone and go to sleep. And then I wake up in the morning and they're still drinking. So that was what happened. So I went to sleep. And it was their birthday, so they were there still drinking. And then I came downstairs, and then they were still in the terrace like drinking. And Chester was, I guess, kind of drunk. And I don't know why we were messing around with firecrackers, but somebody had. I'm not sure if if it's a thunder or whatever the heck it was. Or maybe it was an OG. And Chester lit it up. And you know how stupid Pinoys are, right? What I
right.
do is if there's like a triangle or an OG or whatever the heck it is, libentador. That's the most old school term for a firecracker that we have here, if I'm not mistaken. Just put it somewhere and then light the. Is that pabilo, right? Is that pabilo?
Right.
The
Right.
thing sticking out.
Yeah.
But Filipinos like to hold it, right? And
Mhm.
you know how many fingers have been lost by blowing up firecrackers right after
Yes.
eating biko.
Yeah.
60.
Yeah.
But
Biko or
anyways,
lechon.
that's not a good copy. Probably lechon because we had pulutan and stuff. And Chester was holding the freaking, I think it was an OG, and I was right there next to him, and I lit it up, and he was holding it. And when he tried to throw it, like it stuck for a little bit. So when he threw it, it was in the air. It blew up in the air, like right in front of our faces. So he wasn't able to throw it far. So it took a while before. And when he blew up, dude, like literally, we were talking. And we were talking. I could hear him like he was so far away. Like I thought I was deaf forever. I thought it was like a permanent deafness thing already because like when he blew up, I all of a sudden went, "Hello, hello, Kawai," but it sounded so far, and he said something, and he all sounded so far. So that was like temporary deafness. So you can go deaf, you can lose a finger or two, you can lose your life, you can start you can start a fire. I mean, if the firecracker ban was actually established or initiated or enforced like way before. I can just imagine how many fingers would have been saved by by that particular thing alone. But
Mhm.
because Filipinos, we're so traditional and that kasi tradition dapat ganito, even though there is no, sane justification for having to do it, we still do it. But anyways, no more firecrackers. So are you for it or are you against it?
Firecrackers?
Yeah, I mean like, when it was like forbidden
I think it should be
during the
regulated.
holidays.
I think it should be regulated. I mean, a lot of
Okay,
people lost their
regulated is the word.
fingers, so
Yeah,
it should be
regulated is the word.
regulated. I think the city should have like fireworks instead of. I mean, the okay people they want this kind of stuff, right? So you
Mhm.
regulate it, and at the same time, you give them something to look forward to. I mean, if the city, like here in Japan, they always have like those things like fireworks in the summer, and the city always have that like fireworks, right? Or the neighboring cities as
Mhm.
well.
Mhm.
So there's always that huge fireworks that happens every summer, and it lasts around 15 to 20 minutes, right? They kind of like do it during festivals. Like there's a festival, then there's like this fireworks happening during the festival, the culmination of the festival. So it should be like around. Let's do the countdown. Right, we have a countdown, then we have this fireworks, like big fireworks happening. And that should be enough, man. I mean, well, we since we're in a big city, Davao's a big city. You can like you can do it what region per region or like what like north,
Cluster,
south,
cluster.
east, west. Yeah, you can do it that
Yeah, yeah.
way. Like you have like
Per barangay or whatever.
south. yeah. Barangay is like too. I mean, yeah, there's so many
Too much,
barangays,
too
right? So
many.
let's.
It's too
Well,
much. Yeah,
yeah, we
yeah.
can do it like
It's
okay,
like one right
northern
next to
people,
the other.
northern
Like
people,
one right
northern
next to the
Davao,
other.
they can have their own fireworks. Southern Davao can have their own fireworks. Eastern and West Davao,
Yeah,
they can have their
yeah,
fireworks. So at least it's evenly spread out, and you have this big
yeah,
fireworks happening. Then the people wouldn't have to spend
yeah.
money for that. They can save
I
money
agree.
buying all these things, then they can just like
And
use it for
save
food or
fingers.
whatever. Then yeah, save
And
fingers as well. Then they can just like look at that freaking thing that's sponsored by the city or whoever. Because usually they're like
yeah.
donations too from big companies, right? Like if it's not,
Yes, yes,
the
yes.
city's not gonna spend for it. They will be like, all right, Globe's gonna whoever,
The
right? Smart,
The
whoever. Like
Chinese
there's big
community
companies. Yeah,
would be
Chinese
more than
community,
happy to do because that's their
right?
thing. That's their
So
thing. So anyway, yeah,
so
you bring up a good point because that's what it is in the U.S. I was in the I was when I was in the U.S. for like my teenage years. Every July
right,
4th, like nobody like I don't know, maybe in certain states. I know in California, I know the L.A. people they're crazy, so they blow up their own fireworks or firecrackers. But in Virginia or in the East Coast where I was, we would just go to like a designated place. There's like a park, and you can just
right,
sit there. It's like kind
yes,
of like a hill, and
right,
that's where everybody gathers. And at a certain time, the show
exactly,
starts. It's actually a show
yes,
proper. There's like an
same here.
announcement. There's a countdown, all
Yes,
that stuff.
yeah.
So,
Yes,
so
yes.
I think we already have that here. Or at least we had that here. I know in Samal they do that, so we get to witness that, especially when the firecrackers and the fireworks were banned here in the city. Because in Samal, I think they still allowed it. So for a while, so you could like see it from here. But I get that, and I think that's that's definitely the way to go. And I think it's sort of been done already. I just don't know if people will actually go out
Right,
there and do it. But
right.
Filipinos just
Because
like to
here,
we
mm,
like to risk our lives, man. I don't know why.
we don't know better, I think.
Alcohol
So,
and
I mean,
firecrackers don't mix.
no, doesn't mix. Doesn't mix.
And New Year, everybody's drunk
Terrible.
and everybody's blowing stuff up. So it's not a good combination. And then the next day you hear it in the news with Noli de Castro, you know, just basically showing the grossest episode of TV Patrol, whatever, with all the
I know,
fingers
right? Ew,
blown up. You see
ew.
all these, all these kids going, "Wah!" And all these guys who are like from the barangays who, lost a limb or whatever. I'm like, why do these people not learn? I mean, put the damn thing on the surface and light it up. Just don't hold it. That's it. So if anything happens, it doesn't burn. Anyway, we're talking about Christmas traditions then and now. Let us know whether it's food, whether it's firecrackers, which Iceman brought up. He's talking about the firecrackers that was a sign of the season. Back September, it would start already, and it would be for sale, and you would hear it. But now it's gone. You don't hear it. Like I don't hear any stuff being blown up, and I'm kind of glad for that. But it kind of it mellows down the celebration in the city a little bit. Now, some traditions I would just like to share a little bit of my own just to get the ball rolling, and then we'll get to the messages. Okay, for food category, you guys can throw in. I put this in like different categories. Like there's food, there's activities, there's music. I think for food, one of the things that here in the Philippines we don't really do that much anymore is the
Hmm.
queso de bola thing. I don't know if people still do the
Right.
queso de bola thing, but in my family, that was the only time of the year we would ever consume queso de bola. Because first off, we didn't like the taste of it. Next, it was just kind of like very hard cheese, so it wasn't something that you can just like put on a sandwich. And back in the day, it was all about like having expensive fruits and stuff on your table. I think now, do we still do that? What was your tradition in your house for Noche Buena Ice? Did you guys have like
Oh,
fancy
spaghetti and
fruits?
macaroni salad. That's
Okay,
my mom's recipe for Christmas. Then we have chicken. Well, it's really varied. Like back in the day, there will be times that we'll have a lot of food, and there will be times that it's just macaroni salad and spaghetti. Right? If times are hard, spaghetti, homemade spaghetti, or and macaroni salad. That's like that. That's the most important thing on the table for us, at least. So if
yeah.
if, if times were
And
good,
if times are
there,
if
there
times
will
are
be
really really
a
hard,
lot of food.
if
If
times are
times are
really really
really
hard,
well,
it's odong, it's
uh,
odong, and miswa.
well, it didn't really get that hard, right? It didn't
I
really
know, I
get
know,
that
I know.
hard, but but there was one time that I remember. I even talked about it with my mom just recently. We were talking about how it was almost midnight and we still didn't have anything. Then I think my mom, like hawked something from I don't know,
Found a way.
from
Found a
the
way.
house, found a way. Did she pawn something? I don't know, but She no no I think there was somebody who owed her money, and
Mm-hmm.
she was waiting for that person to pay her. Then she got a bit of money on Christmas Eve. We didn't have anything, dude. I think we didn't have anything, like anything. So it was zero. So there was like nothing at home, and
Dang.
it was already like 7 or 8 p.m. And dude, that was like what Christmas Eve.
Mm-hmm.
Luckily, Dato Complex at that time in Bangkerohan was 24 hours, according to my mom. I thought they were just like closing late, but my mom said no. At that time, they were like 24 hours. So I'm like,
Dude,
really?
that's why.
So that's why we were.
That's why they're dato.
That's
That's why they're dato. They're
yeah,
always
probably
open.
yeah. So that's the reason why we were able to shop for ingredients for macaroni salad and spaghetti, because Dato Complex was still open at around 9 or 10
Man,
p.m. Then
that
we got home just in time for mom to cook, and right before 12 midnight, we had the spaghetti and the macaroni salad. So I was like, oh man, that was like, I think it only happened 1 year, but like I don't remember all the other Christmases, but that I can't forget that. Like
dude.
it was
If
like
you were
one of the
if if you were my dad and you like would tell me these stories, I wouldn't fall for it.
Hmm,
I feel like this is just something my dad would tell me, so that I feel guilty if I'm like really selfish and take things for granted. But it's real. These is like these are
it's
real
real, yeah.
things. I mean,
I remember it. I
Ice
don't
Man has no
remember the
reason
good
to tell me
times.
this. I'm not his son. You know.
Yeah, you're not my son. Yeah,
There's
so
no
fathers do that to their kids just to make them feel
fathers do that
bad.
to their
We have
kids.
all
That's
these
right.
things. When I was a kid, I didn't have a pair of shoes. I only have one shoe. The other pair's missing. I'm like, oh really? Come on, that's not believable.
When I was a kid, I didn't have an iPhone 13. Dad, I didn't even have an iPhone. Steve Jobs wasn't born yet. What are they talking about? But yeah, so yeah, like what Iceman said, spaghetti. I think those are staples in the Philippines. I mean, in other countries, probably not. But in the Philippines, I'm sure there has to be like some sort of a pasta dish, whether it's lasagna, spaghetti, whatever. Spaghetti is always like a thing. I mean, if between spaghetti and pancit, I think spaghetti is more Christmas appropriate just because of the color. Like if you put it on the
Mhm.
table, it's red and it's just and it's very it goes well with the decor and it's I don't know, kind of like pancit is like pancit. You know what I'm saying? It's probably for Chinese New Year you'll have that, but also ham.
Mhm.
I remember as a kid we always had ham. There was always a way to
Right.
I don't
Okay.
know where
Times are
and
good.
that
We have ham too, and queso
and
de
ham
bola.
was different back then.
Good times for us.
I mean, they still make the ham that they used to make back in the day. It was like this big piece, and it's like there's this like layer of fat, and it's like really glazed, and it's really now it's like you buy this like ball of ham that's like 400 pesos or 500 pesos at the grocery, and you bring it home, and like what the heck is this? You don't even know like what meat it is. You don't even know what how it was made. But supposedly it's some sort of ham, but it's not the ham that was like that was cured, that was really made from scratch. That's really like like from the Spanish origin of ham, and it's not hamon anymore. They just call it ham, so it's different. But that's the quality because the times have changed. But like queso de bola, we always had like some sort of sparkling wine or something because my mom is allergic to alcohol, so we couldn't really have real alcoholic drinks when I was a kid. But I just remember that it's Christmas because the house would just it's you could smell apples everywhere. That's the only time of the year that we would smell apples in the house, and apple always had that
Wow.
expensive smell to me, right? Because you
Right.
go to
Right.
Gaisano, you go to Felcris, you see apples being sold during the holiday season. It's like right outside,
Right.
and for
Right.
some reason, it was a big deal. Like it's a
Right. And
sign
for some
of
reason, they're called
Christmas.
Fuji apple.
Yeah,
And I
yeah,
asked the
Fuji
kids,
apple.
like,
Yeah,
"Are there
yeah.
apples in Mount Fuji?" And they laugh at me. I'm like, "Yeah, because there's Fuji apple in the Philippines." And
I
they're
know you
like,
call
"No,
it
there's
Fuji
no
apple,
apple in Mount Fuji." Like, so where did it come
dude.
from? I assumed it's
Dude,
from Mount Fuji.
there's a vinegar called mayon. I don't think they have vinegar in mayon. Okay, you know what I'm
I know,
saying?
right? You have a
There's
point.
apple
You have a
vinegar.
point.
There's Baguio oil. I don't think that's made in Baguio.
Or you
But
never know. It's
anyway,
probably
oh, that's true. That's true. That's
Baguio District.
yeah,
Baguio District.
yeah.
That's
No,
why
no,
it's Baguio
because
oil.
the logo of Baguio oil is actually like a place, right? It's like I think
Right.
it's actually
So
like Baguio. I'm not
it should
sure.
be that place in Kalinan, the Baguio District. It's probably from there. They probably have that factory over there.
Yeah, probably. People are probably like, these two parts are old. You're talking about Baguio oil. Nobody uses Baguio oil anymore. What are you talking about? They have all these new products now. I forgot what oil we use, but it's like It's not Baguio oil anymore. I haven't seen Baguio oil in a long
Back
time.
then,
We
coconut
used
oil was like
we used to put
popular, right? Like what's
we
popular
used
now?
to
Canola?
canola. I don't know. I know there's like some sort of oils that are healthier than others. We're social since we don't use oil very much, so we use olive oil. We use the one that because we don't do a lot of frying in the house. I mean, it's basically but the wifey does the cooking, so she doesn't use oil very much. But she does use a certain oil for baking. But for cooking
Right.
or if we're just reheating something, the olive oil, not the pure one. I think not the other one, the pure one, not the virgin one, because the virgin one is the one that you use for salads, and it's not that expensive
Right.
because you only use very little, and you have a nonstick pan. But anyways, Baguio oil. Back in the day, remember, dude, when we used to buy Baguio oil and it was in a can, nakalata ang oil, right? Nakalata ang oil. Now it's like it's in this
Right.
see-through plastic. But anyways, all right. So the difference is then you had ham, you had spaghetti, you had queso de bola, you had fruit salad, you had apples, pears, and grapes. Now, and I experienced this in the old house. One of the probably 2014 Christmas, dude. I had
Mhm.
SNR pizza on the table. We had KFC. You know what I'm saying? Like fast food. Literally. See, Raj even remembers. We had SNR pizza. We had KFC bucket. We basically didn't cook anything because I don't know. We just didn't have the time to prepare, and it was just us. So it just shows you that if you look at a Filipino table during Noche Buena, you would never see like a KFC or pizza or whatever.
Back
It just
then. You're talking about back then, right?
back back then, yes, because there was always somebody in the house who would take pride in preparing the Noche Buena meal. It's like, hey, this is it's Christmas, it's the birthday of the Lord. You have to have something prepared. We would even dress up, dude. You would even like wear our best clothes, and we're just at home. Just magbihis na. Like we'd all be like, my Lola would wake all of us up like at around 11. We're all like wearing these clothes, and we all look like we just woke up, and we just have to comb our hair because we don't want to take a bath, just for the picture taking because it's Christmas. But anyway, yeah, back in the day, that's how it was. But now it's like KFC, you have pizza, you probably have Jollibee delivered. You see all these commercials of, fast food
All our
places that
food
make it.
now,
Uh,
all our at least in the
it's
Philippines, it's all delivered. It's all
it's
ordered.
all
My
delivered.
mom doesn't
Yeah,
cook anymore.
even
But
the
if
ham you
I'm
can
in the
order.
Philippines, or if Alfred would come home from Canada and we'd all be there, we'd always ask our mom to cook spaghetti and and macaroni salad because we crave for it. Like I'm here, and I always ask my
Yeah.
wife to try to like copy my mom's recipe. She
Hmm.
like she almost gets it, but no. I mean, there's nothing like my mom's spaghetti and macaroni salad. So every time we come home, we always ask her to make a macaroni salad or and a spaghetti, and she would always complain
Hmm.
like, nah, I don't want to cook. Like that's why I order for a reason. But
Oh,
then
palit nito.
all of a sudden, like, yeah, like then we'd go to the grocery. Then at 10:30, 11 p.m., she starts cooking something. She starts, like making those spaghettis. And if we're there, and my sister would be like, "Oh, milagro, you're like, doing stuff." And, because I mean, we're there. Because I think she knows that we,
Of
we, we
course.
like her macaroni and spaghetti a lot. So
Of
even if
course.
she
Of
orders
course.
chippens and whatever, like the chippen salad is good, but it's not as good as my mom's. I would say that. I
Really,
mean, well, I
man.
mean, I prefer her recipe
Yeah,
over. I mean, they're good,
yeah,
but it's like I
yeah,
think
but
it's just my preference.
if you have a point of comparison and you know how Chippins is, and you know how like let's say Yummy's or what's the other one, Chickies and Patties, salad is,
Right,
and you have a point of comparison, then at least I have an idea of how what your mom's salad
right.
is like
It's
because
yeah.
somebody. Every Filipino has like a different version of their fruit
I
salad. Some
know,
have
right? If
raisins,
I
some
go
don't.
to
Some have
if I go
pineapple,
to
some
a
don't. You know what I'm saying?
exactly, I hate raisins, but she put raisins in there. But if I'm
Yeah, I eat
like,
raisins
because my
too.
brother loves raisins, I hate raisins. So it's like, holy crap! I have to like pick the. I mean, but
Yeah, I don't like raisins on
but
salad.
the taste is similar to the chippens one and the chicken and patties one, because
Mm-hmm.
some macaroni salad that I've tasted in other like homes that I've been to, dude, they're very sweet. I'm like, what the heck is this salad? It's like this is so sweet. My mom's macaroni salad is not sweet. It's like rich in mayonnaise and there's like cheese in it, so it's not sweet. So you don't taste that. Some even put condensed milk in their macaroni salad.
Yeah, yeah,
My
yeah,
mom
yeah. Yes,
doesn't.
yes.
All right.
I,
So
I
my
kind,
mom pineapples
do you like it sweet?
and like chippens. Like it's
Yeah.
not sweet.
Just a
So
little
it's
cheese. Just to put a little cheese on it.
yeah. There's cheese like dude, lots of cheese. All right, cheese, then pineapples, raisins, then mayonnaise. Right, it's not the typical like macaroni salad that most Filipinos make
Yeah.
because they're just too sweet when I go, and they have those colored whatever like those
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
they're
The
not
like
sago, but
it's not
my
sago.
mom doesn't put those things.
It's not
What do you
nata
call
de
those
coco
things?
either. It's not nata de. I don't think it's nata de
My mom
coco.
doesn't put nata de coco. There's no nata de coco in my mom's macaroni salad. So most macaroni salad that I've tasted, they have those nata de coco or something with that with those colored
That
gems
green
that I
thing,
would call
that
them.
green thing. Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I don't get the
green thing.
point.
There's like some pink too. Kaong
Kaong.
is it kaong?
Is that what it
It
is?
could be
Kaong?
like no. Nah, I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
I don't really
I
get the
love
point
cheese
of that. I don't know.
macaroni salad. Really,
Oh,
dude, it's
by the way,
good.
CJ, I'm just gonna have to Gcash your whatever because I'm short on cash right now, so I'm gonna have to Gcash your gift. But
He was
anyways,
complaining about Gcash,
I know, I
right?
know, I know. But if he wants to get a present, he has to be ready for Gcash. But anyways, yeah. So you're right. So your mom has that trademark thing. You see, that's the thing. I think that's a tradition that's slowly dying here in the Philippines. You always have a lola in the house. You always have an auntie in the house. You always have your mom who takes pride in a certain recipe that only comes out and is only served during Noche Buena, because that's the only time of the year where you try to stretch your budget to serve a decent meal for the family. But now most Filipinos either live alone or they have their own place, or they don't really get to, especially now with the pandemic, you don't really get to have a big reunion with a lot of people over. So there's always that mentality now where it's like, order ka na lang ng food, order na tayo ng barbecue, order na lang tayo, pa-deliver na lang tayo. It's like nobody wants the hassle anymore preparing something from scratch, and then you'll be so tired and exhausted by the time because it's just people are not programmed that way anymore. Back in the day, there were people in the house whose only job was to cook. Now it's like nobody has that designation anymore. Everybody works. Everybody has to do something. So I think that's the difference for the food. But anyways, all right. So we'll get back to other, upgrades or updates or changes for Christmas traditions here in the Philippines. We would love for you to share yours. But let's read the messages. Go Ice and who they're from.
All right. Carlisle, in our family, we wake up at 12 midnight on Christmas Eve and New Year, pray, then get back to sleep. On New Year, we need to eat after dapat na ay bilog na food o pansit para long life. Karon kapoy na
Guys,
mata 12 midnight.
okay, hold
Hey.
on. The pancit and the bilog, isn't that for New Year?
I think so, yeah.
Right? Because Christmas
I
is
think
like different.
Yeah, I think Carlisle's talking about New Year because he was saying
Oh, New
that
Year.
they
Okay.
would wake up at 12 midnight on Christmas Eve and New Year. They pray, then get back to sleep. And on New Year, we need to eat after dapat na ay bilog na food. So it's New Year. But
Yeah. New
well,
Year, New
yeah,
Year. Okay.
it's the
Got it.
holidays. All
Got it.
right, okay.
Holidays. Got it. Got
Yeah,
it.
but we'll have a different topic for New Year.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
We need
We
we
will.
need more topics.
Yeah, yeah.
So now it's just like
Yeah, we're
Christmas.
running
It's
out.
limited to Christmas, right?
Okay.
So yeah,
Grant, takot,
Christmas
takot
wise.
sa Wato si. Jepoy,
How
hindi ako
about
takot sa Wato. Maybe I am a little bit.
really?
Carlisle says, I suggest there
Jeff
should be. Okay,
Poisonous?
we already read that. We already read that.
How about carolers? Do we still have carolers?
Oh, good one. Yes, that's a good one. That's a good one. No, we don't have anymore.
Right. Well,
We
yeah, because
used
you live in a
to.
fenced, in
Well,
a gated subdivision.
the only
So
people we used to
yeah,
carol in our house, well, here in this house, are the staff of my son's school. They give a letter in
right.
advance, and they would come over, and the teachers and the staff would come over and like do the caroling. And they would sing inside the house, and they would have a set, and we would feed them, and we would obviously give them a little donation for their staff, and that's how they do it. That was like the only time we experienced that, but they were not able to do that for the past couple of years, and so that's why I haven't experienced any caroling or hear it. But I don't know about the other neighborhoods where it's not a gated subdivision and people are free to just like walk up to your gate and sing a song. I mean, do people still
Right.
have kids caroling? I mean, it's scary now, especially with the pandemic, but even before that, I think. Would you let your kids go out like at night,
I
walk
don't know.
around strangers' houses? Back in the day, we did it, right? We would,
We did it. I
dude, we
did it
would,
a lot. My
dude, we would
grandma
end
would be
up really
furious
far,
because I'd be gone
right?
for about an hour or two. Then I'd get home and she'd be like, "Where have you been?" Like, "Oh, we've been, caroling." Where? Like at these places. Like, that's too far. I'm like, "Yeah, but I got a lot of money." Like, how much money?
Okay,
8
okay.
pesos. Like, no, I was like, there's only 8
It's a
pesos.
lot of
Like,
it's a
what
lot
for
of
8
money already.
pesos? Are
eight
you
pesos,
willing to lose your liver or kidneys for that? You
and
know
we have
how
to do.
difficult it is for us to, to race you
Yeah,
and
but
whatever, and
pesos.
just get kidnapped,
No,
and
I only have 1 peso because there were
you're
eight of us, and
going
we had to divide it. Dude,
right.
here's the thing. Here's the thing. We used to in Bakaka because one year I became the president of the youth club, right? So we just like take turns and we all become like presidents of the youth club. So I became a president of the youth club, and the gold mine for us every year was Christmas caroling at Ladislao. Because Ladislao was like
Right.
the rich neighborhood next to ours. I
Well,
mean,
can you
Rolling
get
Hills was
in
okay, but
with the security
they
guard
would
and
let us
all?
in. The guards would let us in because we're familiar faces. And what we would do is, since we're a youth club, we would give letters in advance, and that's kind of like the trick. If you want to get more than, like, let's say 20 pesos or 50 pesos, you got to give a letter because everybody dreads those carolers that have like a band. If it's a
Hmm.
banda, parang, "Ay, sa bukid, dako, nagpangayo." Like, yeah, you cannot give them coins. If there's a whole freaking orchestra outside, like, you hear it, like, ten, 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 just like a freaking torotot outside. There's a freaking drums and all that stuff. I mean, I'm sure you've experienced it. It's like all of a sudden they
Yes,
just like, it's like a church or something, or like like a school or some organization. I'm like, what the heck? And
or band
and you forget.
members.
Yeah, and they give you a letter
Tampa
in
City
advance,
National High
right?
School, they have like a band.
How much do you
They have
give?
like
How much
marching
do you
band.
give?
Yeah, those marching band people. Holy
How much do
crap!
you
They
give?
like
How
go
much
to
do you give? It's like you're
back
pressured to like,
then. You can back then 5 pesos are like bills. They're not
dude, we would
coins.
give them a
So,
hundred. Like my Lola would
really?
set aside like money, yeah, for like these groups that
Wow.
would give letters in
I think
advance.
we're really cheap. I think the most that we gave was like what 20 or 50, 100. That's
Yeah,
impossible back
yeah.
then in the 80s
Yeah, it was
or
like
even
it was
early
like
90s.
on.
No,
My Lola was like, I
no.
remember it was always like 100. So we kind of planned that out, and we had one guitar player, and he would always just bring an acoustic guitar, and just to make it sound credible, like it's not just a bunch of kids with rocks going like this. You don't even make a
Ang
tambourine
Pasko
anymore.
ay
Bato na lang.
sumapit, tayo ay managsiawi.
And the kids can sense like this is not going anywhere. Like these people are not gonna pay us. So this like shortcut, like we wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you like they all of a sudden just like lose their enthusiasm for singing because like the lights don't turn on, people like don't move, and kids can sense. But I miss that. I kind of miss that. It's kind of annoying when you think about it. But we didn't have trick or treaters back then because we didn't have Halloween celebrations in the Philippines before.
Right.
Now we do, But back then we didn't have trick or treaters, so that was the only time we could kind of experience being bugged for something. It was only during Christmas when people are caroling and you give them your change, or you give them, and and the thing was, I remember when we targeted Ladislao for Christmas caroling because we were going to make good money for our youth club, so we would have money to spend for a Christmas party and get drunk like crazy. And it was a fail because when we went there expecting we would get a lot of money, you know what the houses gave us? Dude, they gave us like hopia. They gave us like they gave us like freaking, like all these like leftover food that they had maybe, or stuff that were given to them that they didn't like. So we, you know how kids are. They like food, but for us as a youth club, you give us food. What are we gonna do with that? We needed money to buy liquor
Eat it.
with,
It's
and
food. You
it
eat
was
it.
no, no, but I mean, no, but I mean, dude, hopia's not, like you
I love hopia. What are you talking about? If it's New Star, I'd eat it. If it's Star hopia, I love it. I would like bring it home.
yeah, but dude, you know what I'm saying? It's like we were not
Right.
expecting that. That was not what we
If it's
wanted. Like
Sunny
we were like,
Sweets, no, no, thank you. I'm not a Sunny Sweets fan.
so what is Star? It has to be Star.
Star hopia. Yeah, that's my favorite hopia.
Okay, got it, got it. I gotta compare. I gotta try. But I remember that was a big fail. But anyways, we do miss the caroling, and we want to know if people still go to houses and sing Christmas carols, and if there are any differences. Do people even still play Christmas songs now? But first off, yeah,
I
Merry
do. I
Christmas
do.
to everybody there. You do? What's your
Yeah,
favorite
I do.
Christmas
In
song of
my
all time?
car.
What is your favorite Christmas song of
Um,
all time?
my favorite Christmas song of all time. I don't know.
Merry
Like I like
Christmas na lang. You know that song of people in jail? Is that the song for the people? Is that the song
dude,
for the
that gives
people in
me. You know
jail?
what? I don't
Merry
wanna. I don't
Christmas.
even want to listen to that because I don't want. I'm like, I'm OC, right? I'm like, why am I listening to this? Am I gonna go to jail? I'm like, no, I don't want to go to jail. And you just say, what are you
But,
talking,
but,
dude?
and that
Don't you
guy
get OC?
singing
You're
it,
OC, right? Don't you get scared?
dude. if you hear the recording, it actually sounds like he's in jail. Like it really sounds like he's not even. No, he can't
He
even go near
probably
the
wasn't in
mic.
jail at that time.
Dude, listen to that song. Listen to that song. Listen to the recording. His voice sounds far. Like the policeman just like put a
You know
mic
what?
by the bars,
You
and
know
he's
why
like
I
actually inside the
like?
jail.
Okay, you know why I don't like that
Really?
song? The
Oh my
very
god,
first
jail.
line of that song, the very
What's the
first
first
line,
line?
Nabilanggo ako sa what? That's the first line. That's a downer.
I don't even know. I didn't even know that was the first line. I just know the Americans.
Nabilanggo ako. Yeah, dude, like why? Hey, you know like every time I hear that in the jeepney or whatever, it scares the shit out of me because I'm
Okay.
like, what the heck? I don't I don't want to I don't want to sing that ever. I'm like, no, I
That's
don't want to go to
that is a
jail.
downer song. See, that's what's wrong with some Pinoys. They come up with these songs that just like make you feel down during Christmas. Dude, we're supposed to lift up people's spirits and like give them hope. And we hear all these songs about like, get somebody in jail and he's like, Merry Christmas na lang, like for them. I mean, anyway, it's a sad song to think about it. But what's the title of that song? Merry Christmas na lang?
I have no idea, dude. Like
That's
I
not your
tell you,
favorite. That's not your favorite
I
Christmas
told you,
song, though, right?
it's not my favorite Christmas song.
Nabilang ko.
I dread that song. I'm
Okay, what?
OC.
So,
I don't want to
did he
listen to
say why
those
he was
songs.
jailed? Did he
I have no
mention in the
idea.
song why he was jailed?
I have no
He
idea.
was.
I
I
have
think he was
no
playing a
idea.
ukulele.
Could be.
Okay.
Could be
Anyways, so
ukulele.
what's your favorite
Could be.
Christmas song? What's your all-time favorite Christmas
Um.
song?
No, I just like listening to the classic Christmas songs like "Joy to the World," "Jingle Bells." What else? "Away in the Manger." All those like classic Christmas songs. Yeah, I like listening
Pasko
to
na
them
sinta
because
ko. Yeah, there's another one. Pasko na sinta ko. Hinahanap-hanap
Pasko
kita.
na, sinta ko, hanap-hanap.
Na.
Ha! Buwisit!
Hinahanap mo lang ako dahil Pasko. Gusto mo lang ng regalo. We sound like an AM radio show, man. Pag wild. Anyway, no, that's FM. Where were we? So we're talking about my favorite Christmas song. I know it sounds pretentious and like pasocial, but it's the Nat King Cole and Natalie Cole. I think it's called just a Christmas song. Chestnuts
Yeah,
roasting on an open fire.
that
It sounds like
well, it's
you're inside a
justified because you stayed in the Philippines for 7 years.
in the states. In the
So yeah,
states,
I
you
wouldn't.
stayed in the states.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind
Uh,
that. But
yeah,
if you
it's
didn't
it
like
just
live there or whatever, I'd be like,
no, no, yo,
you're a
absolutely.
poser.
If I didn't live there, my favorite song would be what's a popular one? Ang Pasko ay sumapit.
Probably
Pasko
Pasko,
ay
Pasko, Pasko
In
na
Bisaya,
naman muli.
in Bisaya, it's called taknaan. Ninay taknaan.
Kasadyaning taknaan.
Still don't know the lyrics of that song until now. How does that start? How does it
Huh?
start?
Kasadyaning
Oh yeah, kasadya,
taknaan.
kasadya. That's right.
Amin sa
Isa kahimayaan. We don't
kahimayaan.
even know what kahimayaan is. What is kahimayaan? Can
Himaya,
anybody enlighten
Himaya
me?
is like dude, I'm not. I have a
Lang.
I
What's the
think
last
I
part?
know what it means, but I don't know if it's actually like the right meaning of
I know because we
like
make stuff up. But if it's a
right,
Christmas,
yeah,
like when we go caroling, we make stuff up. Like we fill in the blanks if we don't understand the lyrics.
yeah, and
Okay.
it's
Yeah,
pathetic
go.
too because like they would have their own like, all right, let's make it like like a really nice caroling tonight. Like let's have our own like version and like Pasko 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 Pasko, like they're like, all right, okay, so when I say Pasko,
Acapella.
Pasko 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 na namang muli, like
What are you, Boys to Men?
pangit pa rin. Buisit, piso yan.
What? You're like what? Your mentor is Ryan Kayabyab all of a sudden. Who the heck? Anyways, I was we're s- dude. We're like the Grinch of Christmas. You know what I'm saying? We're ruining everybody's like. That's the thing. Okay,
Himaya is glory.
another.
See?
Okay, all right. See,
Himaya.
sorry,
Okay,
sorry,
that's
man.
what I
I
thought.
don't know these like deep Bisaya words. I mean, if people even use that, I don't think people use
Mm.
that. Okay, so we're talking about traditions in Christmas. What about Santa Claus? Ice, did you ever believe in Santa Claus, and when did it stop?
I don't know. Maybe when I was a
Did
little
you
kid.
fall?
I don't
Did you
remember.
fall for that?
I don't
I
remember.
fell for it. I fell
I think
for it,
everybody
and
did. I think everybody
and
did.
I caught my auntie Bless. So if she's tuned in, she knows. I mean, she was our Santa Claus, and she was the one. And we believed in Santa Claus because the stuff that we would get on our socks, on our Christmas socks, were like imported stuff. A really like cool. Like I got the. I remember the robot watch. Remember that watch that transferred to the robot. That wasn't
Right.
popular here yet. You know, it was just starting, and people couldn't find it. It wasn't being sold in everywhere yet. So I got two robot watches from my Santa thing. I also got like it's just lifesaver candies. If you remember, lifesavers used to be like an important thing. You can just like buy it anywhere, and we would always get that on our
Those round
socks. And
candies.
yeah, the round candies, lifesavers.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, like Polo, right? Like was it Polo?
Right. Right.
Yeah,
Right. I
right.
remember.
Polo,
Yes.
Polo, but
Polo.
Polo's
Yeah.
mint. Polo's like mint.
Right.
So I remember, and we believed in a Santa Claus. My younger sister and my eldest sister didn't live with us anymore at the time. And one time I woke up and saw my aunt, putting like treats on the socks, and she saw me wake up. So the next day, I guess she saw me waking up and catching her. She put like garlic or onions on the socks, and I was like so pissed off. And she said, "Oh, because Santa caught me peeking." And apparently, after that, that was the time that I stopped believing. Like, okay, there is no Santa Claus. Because I remember my mom would always make us go to sleep right after midnight opening presents. It's like, okay, because you're gonna get your treats if you don't go to sleep. That was their way because you're so excited during Christmas Eve, especially when you open your presents. What kid will go to sleep after waking up at midnight, opening his presents, seeing like a robot or like a He-Man toy or whatever? You're not gonna go to bed. You're gonna play all night, and that was their way of making us go to bed. It's like, okay, the dust is settled, the celebration's done, go to sleep so that Santa will put stuff in your socks. And that was their way, and we would go to sleep. But one time I called my aunt and I found out that my aunt was Santa Claus, and I stopped believing in Santa. But I don't know if anybody actually believed in Santa Claus for the audience here because they're all younger. So I don't think anybody falls for that. Raj, do you believe in Santa? Santa Claus? You don't? Did you ever believe in him when you were a kid? Younger? You did? And then? How did you find out? Probably through, probably through the internet. Or maybe like Santa left a price
I
tag.
don't believe in the tooth fairy as well because
Yeah.
when I lost my tooth, they put the money in the.
Yeah, he doesn't believe in the tooth fairy as well.
You're the one who put the money.
Dude, we didn't have tooth fairies back then, did we, when we were kids? We didn't save our tooth.
I don't
What are you talking
remember.
about?
I don't remember. I don't remember talking about tooth fairies when I
I
lose
know.
a tooth or something. Like you lose a tooth, you lose a tooth. That's it. That's the end of the story.
Man, that's good candy.
Yeah, it's so good,
Dude,
right?
I recommend this. This is good.
Papa, can I have?
Oh my god, it's so
Milk
good.
caramel?
Do you like caramel? Wow,
Yeah,
it's so good. That's good.
milk
Hmm.
caramel.
Yeah,
I'm not a
anyway.
candy person. Not even a chocolate
But
person. I only eat
that's good.
chocolate when I'm going to um when I go to basketball. If I have a basketball game, I would eat a chocolate bar and that's it. But wow, candies. Snow
Yeah,
loves candies.
it's a different kind of it's like I think caramel is like it's different because it's chewy and it's more of like a dessert than just like a sweet candy. CJ says, um, you mentioned something about Santa Claus. He said, I don't think he believed in Santa Claus ever. I don't think I did believe in Santa. Okay, CJ was born in 2005. So people people knew everything already during that time.
Right.
Um,
Even Snow would
being
say like Santa's not real. Because I was like, all right, maybe Santa's gonna give you a present. And she was like, there's no Santa. It's just like you and mom, right? I was like, all right, whatever you say. I didn't even like tell her like, oh, Santa's not real. I mean, I don't want to be the Grinch. I mean, I
I know
know
me
that
too.
she'd realize that Santa doesn't exist, but she's in first grade, and I was like, oh yeah, Santa and presents and stuff, and she was just like, Santa's not true, right? It's just you and mom putting presents there, and I was just like, all
Snow
right, fine,
smart. CJ says Snow smart.
whatever. I'm like, I don't
Yeah,
maybe yeah through YouTube or maybe conversation with some classmates. I don't know. So
yeah.
right, so
Kids
it's
know.
kind of like all
Kids
right,
know.
whatever.
It's the biggest scam of the century. People are reacting to all these like investment scams. Dude, we've all been scammed by our parents ever since. You know, there is no Santa. But like I said, it's kind of like it's kind of like a scam that you want, that you appreciate, because it gives, kids something to be excited about during Christmas. I mean, they don't really think
Mm.
deeply into it as a religious tradition. I mean, nobody does anymore. Does anybody? I mean, I know people go to Simbang Gabi and all that stuff, and yes, it is actually a religious celebration when you think about it. But it's also just like it's become a season. People just have a feel good thing during the holidays. It's not even, whether you're Christian or not, or you're Catholic or whatever. It's just, it's just everybody. It's in Bangkok, dude. I spent like, I think, 3 Christmases in Bangkok. It's Thailand. That's a Buddhist country. They're literally like what, 90% Buddhist. Like, they're a small percentage of Christians there. But you go to the malls, oh my god, they have more Christmas decors than we have here. And you're like, what the heck? I'm like, I thought celebrating Christmas in Bangkok would be like, the saddest thing ever, because they're Buddhists. They don't celebrate Christmas. But apparently, because of the sales that it generates, because of the festive, atmosphere that it creates, because of obviously the draw, and they have a huge, tourist influx during December. They actually really just ride on with the Christmas thing, even though they don't even, believe in the actual tradition, the heart of the tradition of it all, and what's being celebrated. So I think it's a feeling, it's really become a feeling, and
I
a
know
lot of people
it's
say,
just I don't know.
all
It's just
right,
Christmas. Instead of
do you
you like
have it?
for me, it's like in
Did you ever
Japan.
have it as a
Like
kid? No, as a kid, did you ever have it? Like, okay, it's Christmas, you get excited, you know.
yeah,
I
yeah,
think
of course. Like even up until now, when I was in the Philippines, up until I left, I would still have that feeling. It's Christmas. I have that Christmas feeling. But when I moved to Japan, there was nothing. It seems like it's just like a normal week. Like now it's the 23rd. I've been telling everybody at work that all my friends are very busy and doing last minute shopping, and I see a lot of friends doing parties now. It's like I don't even know where Corona went, because like everybody's just like posting a lot of parties now and a lot of
true.
gatherings. So I was just like, wow, it's almost back to normal, which
That's
which I
all.
really envy, because my aunt is back in Davao. So some of the family from Manila came home, so they're just like together like every night since what, Wednesday. So they've been like, coffee shop hopping, and they've been like having dinners and such. And you know how my family is, we're really close knit. So
Yeah,
it's kind of like I kind of miss that feeling. Now that
yeah,
I'm here with my wife and my daughter, there's just three of us. It's just crazy. And it's gonna be Christmas Eve tomorrow, and there's like nothing. My wife's like cooking spaghetti right now for tomorrow, but I mean, you don't have that feeling. It's just a
yeah.
work day. On Saturday, it's Christmas Day. Snow has basketball. Like she has basketball on the 25th. It's like it's nothing.
It's a
Christmas here is
normal
nothing.
day.
Yeah, but
Normal day.
but we have all those decorations. We all have those Christmas songs playing in the in the shopping mall and supermarkets, because it's a big draw. It's
It is. It's a
like
big draw.
it's
It's income generating.
consumerism, like,
It's income
right, yeah.
generating. Yeah,
Chickens would,
yeah.
would get sold out, and cakes as well, and a lot of toys, because it's Christmas. Even kids
That's true.
in Japan are like getting Christmas presents. They're not a Christian country, but it's just like a
Yeah, that's true.
season or something.
That's
But the
true. That's
feeling's
true.
not there. It's presents and like, all right, let's eat chicken, but that's it. But in the Philippines, for some reason, we have that feeling. Like Christmas is
Yeah,
sort of different, right?
yeah.
It's like really special.
Everybody's outside the house. Everybody's talking to each other.
Yes,
Everybody's
everybody's
coming. You
happy.
see all your friends at the mall because they all come home. You know what I'm saying? Like those who are
Right,
studying
right,
in Manila or working abroad. Like,
right,
oh,
right.
you always
Yes,
catch up
yes,
and
that
have
feeling. Yeah,
coffee.
you
You know
always
what I'm
bump
saying?
into
Yeah,
somebody.
you
Oh, you're
always
here.
bump
Like,
into
yeah, like,
somebody.
oh, how long?
Reunions.
Oh, like 2 weeks. I'm
That's
like, oh, maybe I'll catch up with you, whatever. Like, all right, all
that's
right, like, just
right.
text, whatever. Like
That's
you have
right.
that, conversations.
That's
Like
right. That's
every time you
right.
go to the mall, you see all these people, but no, you don't have that here. It's different.
Yeah.
They have bonenkais and such, but it's different. It's just like the feeling's different. So I don't know.
And you haven't had that in a while, huh? You have like
No,
you've
dude, a
been.
long time now. I've been here
When was the
14
last time you
years, and
celebrated? When was the last time you celebrated Christmas here?
well, there were many times I went home. Right? I mean,
Right?
yeah. I mean, when I'm there, but I mean, I'm there, so it's like you feel that. But most of the time, I'm
Yeah.
here. Like now, I'm here.
Yeah.
No feeling like that here. It's just like, all right,
Yeah.
tomorrow's 24th. I even forgot. I was like planning stuff for this week. I was like, all right, planning stuff, like, oh, 24th. Oh, Friday's the 24th. And I was even planning like a bonenkai for some friends here. Like, well, maybe we should do it on Friday, blah blah blah. But like, oh, it's the 24th, it's Christmas Eve. I even forgot it's Christmas Eve. was like,
Yeah,
holy
yeah,
shit, it's Christmas Eve. Right.
yeah.
And, like I don't have anything. Snow has a lot of presents, like she's got a lot of presents downstairs. And Drew's just like so happy. And I don't have a present. Like my,
I mean,
my wife doesn't have a present.
I know.
Nobody
I
to
mean,
exchange presents with.
that's why you have to start buying presents for yourself. But what's the fun in that, though, right? It's like your own money you're spending, so it's the same thing.
Right. But
But
even
here's
then, if somebody asks me what present do I want, I always say like I don't want present. I don't need presents. So it's like it's the same
Yeah,
thing though.
that's
Like I'm like,
true. That's
oh,
true.
I don't have a present. I feel bad. But then if somebody asks me what present do I want, I always reply like, no, I don't need a present. I don't want any presents. So it's
Uh,
kind of like it's still crazy, right?
Mine would be like,
Speaking
"What's
of
your budget? What's your budget? I can
yeah, what's your
adjust."
budget? Like Raj, right? Yeah, I know. Like you're like like lounging and behind your dad, and like, all right, I'm here. Like, all right, I'll talk to Reese and arrange something for you. Maybe some Robux or whatever, some Robux money.
Raj, what are you
Right?
getting? All right. Anyway, so we're talking about the traditions. All right. Gab's on board. Shopping malls are all full. Okay, yeah, that's the other thing. I think it's the same thing. That hasn't changed yet. The Christmas rush will always be there. The Christmas rush will always be there. But I would like to include let's because before we talk about food, now music. Okay, so back then when it comes to Christmas music during the season, the holiday season, tapes and CDs are on the sound system, the component. That's what's playing. You have the kids caroling outside, like we said. Relatives and kids making noise around the house because you always have people over. Now, not as much. Obviously, Yosemite Chan songs, and maybe video key machines playing everywhere, especially when it's approaching, midnight. Now people just like have a Christmas playlist on their iPhone. And they play it off a Bluetooth speaker. It's more high def, but it doesn't have that old school charm that as music that's coming from like your dad's giant speaker component, whatever. Or you can have your smart TV on YouTube, and you're just playing a fireplace scene, which what I do. Even though what's the point of having a fireplace in the Philippines, but it just kind of gives you that kind of wintry feel, even though we don't get to experience that here. Noisy neighbors, and
You're
also
lucky you don't
Yosemite
experience
Chan.
that there.
The the winter,
Yeah,
dude. I
I
really
dread winter. Do you know how much or how difficult it is to wake up in the morning? Dude, we can't move in the morning
dude,
at 6 a.m.
because
We're
you
like,
don't turn
we
on the
can't
heating because you're
move.
saving up money. You're
No,
supposed to turn
even
on the heat.
here we turn on the heat, but still, you're like in bed. It's what, like 3 degrees? Or sometimes like worse, it's like -1. That's crazy. It's
Oh my
-1
god.
outside. And like inside, it's like, oh man. And you have this fleece bed sheets and fleece pillowcases. Dude, you
Mm-hmm.
don't want to you have this comforter. You don't want to move. You don't want to get up for work. You know what I'm saying? It's like
I agree. I agree.
so it's
The
a bit
thing I don't,
longer.
the thing I don't like about winters would be, well, I wasn't driving at the time, but I would just see the hassle it would cause for my dad. The windshield would always freeze over. It would ice, you know.
Dude,
So you
yeah, that's
can't
my
scrape that.
problem.
You can't scrape that thing off. You have to like turn on the heater in your car, and then you have. My
Right.
dad used to boil
And give it
water
like
and
a
like pour.
like
You have to give it
right.
time.
Now I
It's
just like
ice. It's
I
ice.
just pour water. I have to like turn on the car and let it run for about like what 5 minutes at least, so that all those ice will melt. And I would like
Yeah.
like pour just like before it's like hot water, but now it's just like just water, and it would
Yeah.
easily just melt the ice. Yeah, it makes it faster because when
You
you
make
have
it,
when
yeah.
you
That's
turn
what my
on your
dad.
engine
That's
and
what my
there's
dad
like
does.
heat coming from the car,
He just pour
so
water
it's
on it.
but that's like that's additional 5 to 10 minutes on your part,
Yeah,
right?
that's a
So in,
hassle.
in the summer, yeah, it's a hassle because if normally you leave it around this time, that means you have to adjust your lifestyle. In the
Mm-hmm.
winter, 10, like you have to add 10 more minutes in like in preparation for that. You have to get out of the house, turn on the car, leave it running for about 5 to 10 minutes, so that by the time you get out, the car is warm, and it's like the windshield's okay. If not,
Yeah,
it's like you can't be running
you
because it's
can't.
like it's all
You can't.
frosted. It's crazy.
It's all ice. It's ice. It's hard ice. Also, all the stuff that you have to layers and layers of clothes that you have to wear, and then you have to take off, and you get to somewhere, and it's obviously a hassle. It's not always. It's not always like when you get to a place, there's a convenience of like a locker or a storage place where you can drop off your trench coat, your
Yes,
jacket, your
yes,
whatever. My dad used to wear thermal undergarments. Like if it gets really cold, it doesn't really get that crazy in Virginia. I think the advantage that we had there, or at least we were better off in Virginia because the winters there, we have snow. We get up to like, almost 2 feet of snow, but it's not as terribly chilly as like Chicago or San Francisco, where it's the wind that kills you. Like your ears literally get numbed, your
Right.
nose gets numbed, and
Right.
I'm sure in
It's
Japan you
actually the
feel
wind.
that.
Yeah.
That's worse.
It's
That's
the
the
wind.
worst kind of cold. You can have
Yeah. If
snow
it's
and it's
windy, it's
fine,
crazy.
but if
Yes.
it's the cold wind, you're dead. That's you literally like
Yeah.
you're
That's
literally
true.
you're
Like during
that's
like
the one that's
if
getting
it's a heavy
you.
snow, that's not a problem. It's even warm. Like, oh, there's just like snow and it's like,
Yeah, yeah, that's
it's
true. That's true.
fine.
There could be snow and it's
Then
warm, right? Yeah, that's right.
when the snow stops
The
and everything just like freezes over and then the wind starts to blow,
winds.
that's
That's
that
yeah.
yeah, that's
Stay
crazy.
home.
You'd be
Stay
like,
home.
"Uah."
Yeah, stay home.
It could like,
You're like,
slap your, the wind's like just blowing through your face. I would walk backwards. They were like the first time I was here, I would walk backwards and my wife would be laughing. Like, I have to walk backwards. It's just like it hits your face. Ah! Holy shit.
you literally like
Yeah.
won't be able to talk. Like you could be like standing outside with your friends or whatever and trying to have a conversation, and you would be like just too messed up by the wind. And I experienced this a couple of years ago when I went to the States for vacation in San Francisco. The San Francisco thing is different, like, because we drove from LA to San Francisco, and I was in San Francisco. That was the first time to experience that kind of weather. So I can only imagine how Minnesota and Chicago, the weather there is. If it's worse than San Francisco, because in San Francisco they didn't have there was no snow. It wasn't like winter even. But it just like when it gets late, like at around 7 p.m. or
Mhm.
8 p.m. onwards, it just like I think in Japan that's what happens too. Like during the day, maybe it's normal, and then at night
Mhm.
you go to a restaurant, and then you step outside of the restaurant, and it's nighttime, and it's freaking cold as heck. And just that walk from
It
the
is. It
restaurant to your
is.
car is already like a struggle. So yeah. So anyway, all right. So like, moving on to talking about activities. I would say you already mentioned a lot of the activities, right? Noche
Yeah,
Buena.
yeah, yeah. Noche
Carlisle
Buena.
mentioned that you wake up at 12 midnight. Do people still do that? Do people still wait until 12 midnight before you can touch the food on the table? Because we were
Probably
strictly
not.
forbidden to touch the food
Probably
until
not,
12
because
midnight.
nobody waits for 12 minutes anymore.
Nobody wants 12 midnight
Like,
anymore.
like I think they start eating at 11 or whatever. Some people would
Yeah.
start doing that, like just eat at 11 or 10:30. Then like those who, I mean, it was because of the lechon and whatnot, right? Before, like, don't touch the lechon yet, not until 12 midnight. Nobody
Yeah.
touches it. We have to take photos
Yeah.
and such.
Yeah. I take photos.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
That's right.
But
And
now
it was
it's
like
a big deal. I don't know. I
we
mean, at
actually
least
had
in my
like
family, we don't do that anymore. At
we have to
least
have
in my
food
family.
served before Noche Buena. Like if you can't wait, you don't touch the good food. You just have like this like simple like pre midnight snack or something that you could eat, but it's not the special food that will be served for Noche Buena if you can't wait. But most of us would just wait because the food would be so good. Did you guys have a tradition in the family that you would have a special performance during Christmas before you get a prize? Because we always had that as kids. Like I would sing Hagibi songs. It
Um,
would like my
Right.
sister would
Well, we
sing.
had that. We would sing songs because my dad would make us sing songs because there were three of us, right? Yeah, I remember that we used to have that, but I mean, I don't know now. I mean, that's kind of like I only have one kid. I can't do that to her.
I know.
Like either way, she gets her stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I know
oh, you sing a
exactly.
song, and
I
she'd
know.
be like,
I know. I
all
know.
right, I'll give you what you want. Crazy prick. Like,
I know back in the day, dude, we were freaking minions. Like our parents would make us perform in front of them, and we would do it, no questions asked. You know what I'm saying? We don't
right,
even get
right.
anything out of it. If we don't do it, they give us this look, and we're like, all of a sudden, we're freaking out. Uh, Lolo and Lola would always give out like cash gifts, or we're always excited to have Lola and Lola over because they'd be the ones who like secretly hand you over money. I don't know if you experienced that, or you had a relative who would always they're always the ones that when they show up during the holidays, you're excited. Not mainly because of their
Mhm.
presence, but mainly because of what you're gonna get out of it. Um, there are people like that now. I don't know if that's still the case, because like I said, the world has gotten smaller. The anticipation and excitement to see long lost, not long lost, but relatives you haven't seen in a long time. You don't have that much excitement as you did back in the day because you would see them on Facebook. You could chat with them. You could video call them. So you don't really, you don't have that kind of curiosity to see them again as we did back in the day, where we would only keep in touch during long distance phone calls, which would happen during Christmas. Do you watch Christmas specials, Ice, during the
No, I
holidays? Do you have
don't.
like a
No, no, I don't. Never
you don't have a
did. I
go-to
hate
Christmas
that.
movie? You don't have
No,
a
I
go-to Christmas movie?
will. No, I mean, I watch like Christmas. Okay, when you say Christmas specials, you're talking about like those TV shows on
Oh no
TV,
no no no
or are
no
you
not
talking
not,
about
not
like
like the
movies and stuff?
okay well,
Well,
okay
I
Christmas
watch.
specials. Yeah, Christmas
I
specials
would
would be
make it a
different.
point if it's like the Christmas season. I would make it a point to watch Christmas themed movies. Like for example, Love Actually. I always watch that every year. I
Yeah,
always
that's a
make
good
it a
movie.
point to watch that every year.
That is a good movie. That's a good movie. Love
So
that movie.
I'm actually gonna watch it probably tomorrow. So
For
yeah.
Raj and myself, our Christmas tradition is Home Alone. So we're still waiting for Netflix to bring back Home Alone
Oh,
because
I
we
was
always
planning
have
to
to watch
watch
Home Alone.
that. I will watch
We
that.
always have
I
to
think
watch Home Alone.
it's on Disney Plus. I'm going to watch it.
Yeah, yeah, Home Alone. And I'm still waiting for National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation to make a comeback because I remember it being shown on Netflix one time, and I saw it with my son, and it was, I enjoyed it, and they never brought it back again. It's like also very popular in the States, but here National Lampoon's not very popular. But Home Alone definitely a Christmas movie for me. Die Hard, people are saying it's a Christmas movie. It is actually, but I don't know if it's a family Christmas movie, because it's obviously violent. Walang kamatayang Home Alone. I never get sick of Home Alone. I don't know why. I never get sick of Home Alone. I mean, it's a movie that you could just have playing during Christmas. You don't even have to watch it. It's like it's just a safe thing to have playing in the background, because it
Mhm.
it just does its job. It just it gives you that familiarity and that traditional Christmas thing because it plays Christmas songs for the entire movie. Okay, only reason I'm excited for Christmas lately is the money, the gifts, and the draw that a reunion of a family, and maybe receiving a greeting from the girl I like. That's from CJ. Yeah. Do people have like what do they do with their girlfriends like or their significant others during Christmas? I mean, if you're not married and you have a girlfriend and it's Christmas, do you go? Because I'm trying to recall what I would do during Christmas back when I had a girlfriend, or yeah, during my girlfriend years. Do I don't think I go there and like spend Christmas with them. Do you guys? Should you like if you're should you join or should you just stay with your family? She stays with her family. How does that work? I'm trying to recall how I did it.
Christmas
Yeah. Should you be at
girlfriend.
your girlfriend's? Should you be at your girlfriend's house? Should you?
Well, I
I don't
did
know. Is
that.
that
I
a
think I spent like the first time I was allowed to go to their house was on Christmas. So
no?
I did
What?
spend Christmas there. Um, I think I waited until 11:30 until I left. No, I think I went there around 10 or something, and I think my family didn't mind. It was like, all right, fine. You want to spend Christmas there? We weren't really strict on Christmas. I think what we would do on Christmas Day was like spend Christmas up until 12 midnight, and after that, it's either we stay there, our friends come over, or I go somewhere. I would go
Okay.
to a friend's house, right? But then New Year was strictly like you stay at a house. So that was our tradition at home. Um,
Okay. Got it.
New Year's with family. So we spend like I would never go to a different house on New Year's Day. Like no, not after 12 midnight I'd stay in. The next day
Yeah.
probably like you already slept and you wake up the next day January 1st.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like after midnight no you stay at home.
Yeah.
That
Yeah. I
was the
think.
thing.
I think being the guy, I think it's more likely that we'd be going to the girlfriend's house and then yeah, just be home before midnight. But I don't recall like going to my girlfriend's house, hanging out there Christmas night or Christmas evening, and then going back home. I think I don't know. For the most part, maybe I would just like stay home or something. I don't know. Maybe we'd just see each other the next day. I'm trying to recall. I don't even remember how I celebrated Christmas, with a girlfriend back in the day, or what the rule is. But obviously nowadays it's different for the kids. Um. Okay. What? Okay. These are just messages that you guys have sent in before. Activities. Noche Buena. It's like 12 midnight. Kids have a special performance, games. Yeah, watching Christmas specials. The one that you thought I was referring to, I meant Christmas like movies or whatever, was like maybe the David Foster concert or the Mariah Carey Christmas special. Is that what you're
No, no,
saying?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I never watched those
Yeah.
things. It bores the hell out of
um
me.
Crazy Christmas rush and last minute shopping. I think there's always that thing for last minute shopping. That's why our show for Monday supposedly was canceled because my wifey was out and she did last minute Christmas shopping. Because if she waited a day longer, it's just gonna get worse. and she had to do that. And I think that's something that also in when I was in the States, I didn't experience that very much, where there is this pressure or this like responsibility to have to buy presents for every single person. Obviously, my sisters, they had jobs. I had a job. We would only be obligated to buy Christmas presents for the immediate family. But like here in the Philippines, dude, like I tried to come up with a Christmas gift list one time, including my nanaks, including people that I kind of owe something to, and I think the list ended up being like 30 plus people. And it's like, how do you, like, if you receive like a Christmas bonus or something from work, that's not even enough. It's crazy, where you get this feeling of like you have to. I mean, is that
Right.
necessary? Right? Is that even necessary? I mean,
Which one?
you know, because my wife's big on that, and I understand it's a Christmas thing. Like, if it's Christmas, you have to give something to people. And I have friends who are consistent with that. Shout out, by the way, to Dexter and Joe Latayan. Thank you for the Larry's bacon that they sent over. Um,
Right.
they do that every year. They always send us a Christmas treat. So we have plenty of bacon here, courtesy of the Latayans. Appreciate that. And that's something that like my wifey would tell me, hey, you send this, to the people you've worked with, you send this to the people who hire you for hosting, you send this to whatever. And I just kind of don't want to start with that, because it's such a pressure during Christmas that you end up buying all these stuff for people that is not even in your immediate family anymore.
I don't think you have to do that. I mean, for those people who can do it, then they should do it. If they want to
Okay.
do it, and if they can do it, they can afford to do it,
But it's
then
not
why
a
not?
deal
I
breaker.
mean,
It's not a deal breaker though, right? It's not like people
it's
people
not.
will
I don't think it's a.
think less of me because I didn't send them something, right? Would you
No,
ever
I mean,
think
I
less of
wouldn't.
somebody because okay.
No,
All
I
right, good.
wouldn't. I
Good.
wouldn't. I mean, I would feel awkward if I get something from someone, because that would be like that would be pressure on me too. I mean, should
Yeah.
I do the same? It's like, what the heck?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm
You know
saying.
what
It's
I'm saying?
like
It's like, oh God. I mean, what am I gonna do?
it's like the
But
pressure,
yeah, I
right? It's
mean,
like wala ka utang na loob or something. Or you didn't even
right?
send a
Because me,
card.
if,
Like
if I
I
do something, if I give something, it's not like I'm asking you to do it to me as well. Like you don't have to do the same. Like when I do it,
yeah.
I just do it. That's I
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
expect anything. Like that. That's
Yes.
the kind of person I am. But
I actually
well,
feel
we
that
don't
from
know
you.
about
Yeah.
other people. Yeah. So
If you don't know
we
about
don't
other people,
know
true.
other people. So that's kind of tricky. So, but well, as you ask me, I mean, should you? I mean, those people who are doing it, they probably like doing it, and they can
Yeah.
probably afford doing it, and
It's
that's
in their
fine.
system. It's in
All
their
right.
system.
But
They were
me,
brought
no,
up that
I can't
way.
afford to do it.
Do you
Um,
send
if
cards?
I
Christmas
can,
cards?
I will. No, not even. I don't
Yeah.
even give Christmas card to my kid.
Dude,
Why would I give
my
Christmas cards to other people?
same here. But my eldest sister, my Lola, I have like members of my family where it's just a tradition for them. Like my two older sisters in the States, I don't know if it's a US thing that they do, but they always send us like this picture card, their family, and they're like, different pictures of them with their dog and all that crap. And they send you like this picture collage to everybody by mail. And we always get
Mhm.
this, and it's like a greeting from the whatever their last name is, the family, whatever. And my wife's always like, "Hey, let's have one like that made, or let's also send like this to people." I'm like, you know what? That's either gonna get thrown away. That's either gonna be like no one's gonna want to see our faces on their rep, or no one's gonna. I mean, maybe they would. They maybe it would. It's a heartwarming gesture to receive something from somebody, but I don't like I said, I don't want to get into that because like it's 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 already it's already not I would say stressful, but it's already taxing to just have to run the house during the holidays, you know? Can you imagine having to think about all these side things that
But
you have to
here's the
do
thing.
during the
Here's the thing.
holidays?
Christmas, I think, mainly is for families, right? Your family, right? That's Christmas, and the New
Mhm.
Year's. Friends, yes, like yeah. I mean, the people that you see often, right? But
Mhm.
I think it's like like family is really important, right? Like so,
True, true.
I think Christmases are meant to be like well, it's for other people as well. But what I'm saying is, I mean, we have a responsibility to our families, right? So
True.
I think that comes first. And if you
True.
have more than enough, and you can able to like expand it or extend it to like other people, then that's really good. That's
Yeah.
really fine, right?
Yeah.
That's
Without
awesome.
stressing out. Without stressing
Yeah,
out. But I
But
see so
me,
many people stressing themselves out just to
oh
keep
no,
up with like
that's
this Christmas thing that
no,
you have to maintain. And
no,
you know,
no.
like
I wouldn't
it's
feel good
usually
receiving something from you if you're like all pressured out in doing
yeah,
it just
yeah,
because like you thought that you should be doing it because I was expecting that you would do it. Like no,
yeah.
it's
But
not that. No,
there's
I
always
wouldn't be
people in there.
happy as well.
There's always people in the family will always tell you that though. They'll always be like, "Hey, oy, napadalan mo na ba ng ano si ano? Oh, napasalamatan mo na ba si ganyan? Oh, pumunta tayo." You have to travel to go to whatever's house. You have to whatever, and you're given a task to have to deliver all these cards to everybody. You have to, and it's like what the heck, man? We're not Santa Claus for crying. We don't. It's that's not our job. You know, it's like they're fine. They're fine. They don't have to. You know, but people just seem to like to assume that that's it's something that they have to do during the holidays, and sometimes you forget that you should be more concerned about who's immediately around you, who's right there with you, and celebrate with them, and that make it like that intimate kind of special experience rather than everybody being mad at each other and shouting at each other and just kind of giving responsibilities to one another and stressing themselves out for the holidays where everybody should actually be happy, and it's a time to celebrate. You shouldn't be stressing out. But you'll have all these people stuck in traffic, right? Just because they have to buy something for somebody who they will probably never talk to or see again. And it's, I don't know. I don't get that part, where there's this unnecessary stress that comes with the holidays. People always feel bad that they don't have money. Okay, why do you feel bad because you don't have money? Wala kang pambili ng regalo I mean, you think the person who you will give a gift to will feel good knowing that you're broke just so you could give them a gift? Yeah, I don't think that's like that's particularly
Wow,
necessary, right? I mean,
it's
it's not
crazy, right? I
it's
mean, that's me
crazy.
for the whole year, feeling bad because I don't have enough money.
Yeah,
That's
for
just
your
for
family
Christmas.
and yourself, maybe. Yeah, I mean, I would get that, but but
I
yeah,
really
people
wanted
feel
that nice car, but no, I still can't. I still can't afford it.
Christmas.
I'm already in
Christmas is not
Japan.
fun. Christmas is
Still
not
can't
fun.
afford it.
Yeah. So hold on. Yeah. So, anyways,
Right. All right.
yeah.
Okay.
So,
So
how are you celebrating Christmas? Just at home or basketball with your daughter?
I no, well, on Christmas Day, on the 25th, like that's like I think they have a basketball practice, and after that my basketball game. But the thing is, yeah, tomorrow I'd be here with my wife. Then I think Chris would be here, like our American friend who's also like an orphan here. I mean, she has her
Hmm.
family in the States, but she doesn't have anybody, so she's an orphan here.
Oh,
So we're
that's
like her
cool. That's
family
cool.
here.
That's
So
good to
she
have
comes here
family.
every
That's
time.
cool.
So every time somebody's celebrating a birthday or something, or Snow has her, recital or something, like she's always here. She's family already. So she's
That's
coming
good.
over
That's good.
tomorrow. So yeah, it's just the four of us. My in-laws can't be here, so yeah. So me, my wife, Snow, and then I think Chris. Yeah, it's just yeah, Christmas for us. It's
Is there a Filipino Christmas movie you can watch, I, so that you just at least feel like you're here? Because
but I will.
I mean,
But the thing is, well, we have iPhones and whatnot, so I'd be on
oh
FaceTime
yeah,
with my family the whole time. So
that's
it
true.
but here, physically, it's just us four. But then I'd be skyping with a friend. Like remember Wendy? We arranged a
Mm-hmm.
Skype for tomorrow, so I don't know how long will I talk to her, but because she finally had a baby. I think what like 2 years ago, or was it last year?
Mm-hmm.
So
Wow.
she was like, "Oh, I wanted to like
Not
schedule
yours,
a
right?
like no, not mine. Yeah, that would be impossible." But yeah, so Wendy wanted to like have a chat and like meet Snow. Okay, she hasn't meet Snow. They haven't met yet, so she wants to meet Snow and she can introduce Adrian to us. They're in Scotland now, so it's kind of like yeah, that's the thing. So I have like a bunch of like people to talk to tomorrow, through Skype or no, not Skype, like FaceTime. So
Well, Merry Christmas to you,
yeah,
man. I mean, I'm pretty
right.
sure we'll
Yeah,
see each
Merry
other
Christmas. But
either
yeah, we'll
Saturday
have.
or Monday.
I know,
Saturday? Are we
like
doing
all right.
Saturday?
Yeah, I'm Saturday.
What's your
I'm
deal?
fine. Like there's nothing. Like I mean, there's nothing here. I'll
Hold
be
on.
playing basketball, then I come back home, and that's it.
So Christmas Day is Saturday, right?
Saturday, like well, Saturday
Okay.
night. If you're not doing anything with the family, then that's fine with me. I'll do it.
You know what? I have a feeling that alcohol might be involved that day.
All
So,
right, okay, then don't
you know
worry
what I'm
about it.
saying? You know what I'm saying? We can do
Don't
Sunday
worry
though.
about
We
it.
can do
We'll do it.
Sunday.
Yeah, Sunday. Yeah, Sunday would be
I can do
cool.
Sunday.
Yeah, I
Like
think
post,
Sunday's okay
post
because we're
grade.
already
Yeah.
holidays. I still
Yeah.
I still have work tomorrow, but then after tomorrow it's fine. So yeah, we can do Sunday then.
Yeah, CJ, I'll send it
26th.
Gcash. All right, just don't
All
worry
right.
about it. Yeah,
Right.
we're just having in-laws over. I've been they're my family here, obviously.
Right.
So if not for them, it would be just also be the four of us, which
True.
we're used to
True.
also celebrating.
Right.
But happy yeah, Merry Christmas, happy holidays to Gab, happy holidays to
Yeah, Gab, happy
Carlisle, happy holidays
holidays, Merry Christmas. Yeah,
to
everybody who
Joe
joined us
Boy, to
tonight.
everybody out
Joe
there,
Boy,
wherever
everybody.
you are.
Yeah,
Remember,
Patrick. Yes.
um, Christmas is about it's about that feeling. It's about that thing where
Right.
you have something to celebrate about. We don't have Thanksgiving
Yes.
Day here in the Philippines, so this is
Yeah. You
our
have your
Thanksgiving
family. You're
Day.
in good health. You should be thankful for it. You should be happy
You
about
should
it.
be thinking that's true.
All
That's
right.
true. And the less you want, the less disappointed you will be. That's the trick to life.
Yes.
So keep your standards, your requirements low, so that everything else is considered a blessing already. If anything comes your
Okay.
way, it's beyond that.
Okay.
So we're gonna be out of here. We're gonna celebrate Christmas tomorrow, and we'll open our presents on Sunday if we get any. I said he's not gonna get
Right.
any, so that would
I'm
be
sure
cool
about
though,
it.
right?
Yeah.
That would be cool if you were
I'm
like,
sure
I
of it.
think if we were in the
I'm
Philippines
probably
and we
gonna get
still,
something from Chris, because Chris is like, I don't know, like she would always give me some like those, like things that I'm like, all right, fine, cool, like yeah.
you
So
don't
I would probably
mind.
get
Yeah,
something for
well,
her.
don't open it. Don't open it and open it on. If I get something if I get something tomorrow, whatever from my in-laws, and
Yeah, okay,
I'll
we'll
open
open
it
it on
on
Sunday.
yeah, I'll open
Sunday
it
or
on
Monday.
Sunday.
Yeah, Sunday.
I'll hold
Right.
on.
Okay.
I'll hold off for that. And
All
that's
right.
what I miss
Okay.
about being employed. That's what I miss about being employed, because that's the only time I get a present. When we have an exchange
With the
gift during the
company.
Christmas
Yeah, that's
party
true.
at the radio station,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
That's the
Yeah.
only
Yeah.
thing, and that's a Christmas party that we're guaranteed to at least have one Christmas party when you're employed. Because like the reunion's
True.
not a sure thing. Your
Yeah,
neighborhood's
it's not
not
a
a
sure
sure thing that
thing.
they're gonna have,
Yeah.
but the company party will
No.
always be a sure thing, and that's
Yeah.
kind of what I
That's a
miss.
sure
So
thing.
it's all
All
right. Well,
right.
Merry Christmas to you. Merry Christmas to the wifey.
All
Merry
right. Merry
Christmas to
Christmas.
Snow.
All
And
right.
yeah, we'll see you on Sunday.
Yeah. All right. So, folks, just enjoy your day and enjoy the holidays. All right. Lighten up, loosen up. It's the holidays. It's Christmas.
That's right.
All right. So don't be pressured. Whatever. Just chill. We'll try to do the same. All right. So Merry Christmas, and we are out.